In today's presentation, we will be showing the installation of the oil pump, oil pickup, and the oil pan in a 1.3 liter Suzuki Samurai engine. We'll begin with the oil pump. The tools, parts, and supplies needed to install the oil pump are the oil pump, the front crankshaft seal, the gasket, 7 bolts, a torque wrench and nut driver, both fitted with a 10mm socket.
Start by taking the seal, get the outside of it a little wet so it slides right into the oil pump. Install it in the oil pump evenly. They may not all be so easy to install, but it goes in nicely. And then you're going to take your alignment dowels, make sure they're in your block, 2 upper holes, gasket on, no sealer required. You have your 2 flat spots there. You want to make sure that your oil pump drive lines up with that.
Show me that oil pump drive.
The way it's cogged here.
Okay.
That's going to go on the end of the crankshaft there. So then when you install your oil, just be careful with the oil seal. You're going to want to work it around so you don't catch the lip and it slide right past that snout. I have 3 spots on this one. They're going to require a longer bolt, and they go as in that position.
So that's your 3 longer bolts.
Those are the 3 longer bolts. We're going to run these all in evenly. I'm going to torque those at 8 foot-pounds.
The last step is to trim the gasket with a razor blade. Next is the installation of the pickup tube and oil pan. The tools needed are a torque wrench, a nut driver, both with 10mm sockets, and a Phillips screwdriver. The parts needed are 2 pickup tube bolts, an O-ring, and the pickup tube. Additionally, the oil pan bolts, nuts, drain plug, and the oil pan. Place the O-ring on the pickup tube. Position the pickup tube in the block. Apply blue Loctite to the thread of the bolts and install them in the block. Snug the bolts with a nut driver. Torque the bolts to 8 foot-pounds. Clean the block with brake cleaner and a cloth.
Okay, so we're going to be using some RTV gasket maker on the oil pan. Now, there are some oil pan gaskets available out there that I highly recommend against. Suzuki does not design their oil pan for an oil pan gasket, and you most likely will have leaks if you use one. And we are going to seal around the whole oil pan. They provide a little trough there that you'll just kind of stick your sealer in. bracket tube and then just kind of line it up as you set it down. I'll just start putting the bolts in. I won't be running them down tight, or just gonna stick them all in. We'll just go around and snug them all up a little more. Then we're going to torque those down to 8 foot-pounds. Start in the front. There's a gasket. Install the gasket. Install the drain plug.
That concludes today's video on oil pump, pickup, and pan installation. We hope you found these instructions helpful. We remind you that all the parts and supplies required for this job can be purchased through our website at www.lowrangeoffroad.com or by calling 801-805-6644.